Welcome back. So, now I'm going to start working on the crankshaft. Got most of the other pieces done here. First we're going to start by cutting out the web pattern. Basically I'm going to attach this pattern to a small brass strip. That's 0.9 in thickness, 0.9 inches. We'll drill out the holes and then cut out the shape in a scroll saw. Obviously it's key to get the holes drilled as centered as possible. I'll be cutting this out pretty much the same as everything else. I will attach this pattern directly to the brass and drill the holes. Alright, so I got my holes drilled. Just going to try and check it against the size of my shaft here. A little looser than I wanted. But we're going to try and make it with these. Alright, this is proving too difficult to cut like this because I didn't really leave enough space to hold on to. Well, I eventually got these cut out. They proved much more difficult to cut out because, quite frankly, I didn't leave enough space between them and on either side to effectively hold on to them as I cut them out. But it looks like they're going to work out fine. Next step is to cut out the crankshaft pieces. Basically I have a pattern here that I'm going to wrap around my 3/32 music wire here. And then I'll cut it off with the emery disc where the darker slots are. That should come out nicely. Side note, before going too far and cutting the shaft, make sure that it fits your bearings, that you can slide them on there and off. Otherwise it'll be hard to sand or shape or reduce in size. Once it's done, basically I have the pattern attached onto the rod like so. Just put it in a vise. We have our segments for the crankshaft. Just kind of stuck the crankshaft together for the moment. It's not attached, of course. It just comes right apart. Just to see how the fit is. Next, I'm going to cut some spacers from a 1/8 inch tube to, set the distances and spacing for where the connecting rods are. The brass tube, of course, when you clamp it, just clamp on the tape instead of on the tube, because otherwise you just smash the tube. Yeah. Spacers came out alright. I lost a couple of them, so I'll have to cut some more. Just have to grind the tabs off that are kind of left over. This is basically how the crankshaft is going to be assembled. Oh, lost a little piece there, but that's fine. Everything lines up pretty good with the pattern, so I'm pretty confident with that. I'm going to have to make a small little board with some cutouts so I can lay it flat while I'm gluing it all together. Alright, in gluing the crankshaft together, I'm simply using a little JB quick weld, and I've roughed up the shaft a little bit on the end. So I dab some on, and I just kind of recess it in, and then I'm just going to set in it right now to balance it while it dries. Okay, in an effort to try and show what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of getting JB weld all the way around on the part that's sticking through. And I kind of pull it back and forth a few times. And adjust it till it's flush. Once we get it kind of lined up, and I have my jig here. Which isn't really a jig so much, but it's for lining up the crankshaft, letting it harden. Okay, and then I'll let that harden. So we got the finished crankshaft here. Looks like it's came out pretty straight. Looks like everything spins pretty smoothly, pretty straight. It should come out excellent. I'll attach the pistons on and see how smooth it works. So I may have to do some more sanding yet on the tubes and the pistons. Well, I got a couple of pistons in place here, and we got a bit of a problem. So you can see it on the video, but basically the pin is limiting the range of motion here, and it's just by a little bit on each side. So like 1/32 of an inch shorter probably would have been enough to make it clear, but it is not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a notch down the middle of this engine block on each side to accommodate the pins recessing in. Alright, I have everything together with the crankshaft in there, and it spins beautifully. This has turned out quite well so far. And you can see if you look, you can see the holes where it'll switch the airflow. Likewise here is where the continuous flow is switched on. Everything spins very smoothly. Gotta like that. Anyway, that's the crankshaft. Thanks for watching.